Time now is just getting up to 7:19. You're listening to the Morning Edition on CBC Radio 1, streaming live on the CBC Listen app, as well as 89.1 FM. In the weather, it is a clear morning right now, mainly sunny, sitting at 9, but clouds will roll in. There is a chance of showers throughout the day as we get up to our high of 12. Well, for the third year running, 91-year-old Lincoln Bauman will lay a wreath at the Kitchener Cenotaph this Thursday. CBC KW's Joe Pavia sat down with Mr. Bauman ahead of the service. So, Joe, tell us a bit about Lincoln. Who is he?
Well, Craig, Lincoln was born in Hawksville, just outside of St. Jacobs. He grew up Mennonite, but left the faith and his family and enlisted in the Canadian Army in 1952. He was hoping to be stationed in Germany because he spoke German, or Pennsylvania Dutch to be exact, and to him, Germany seemed like a good fit. Instead, he says, they sent him to Korea.
I served 3 years in the Army, yeah. And I was in Korea till 55, yeah.
What wreath are you laying before the cenotaph?
The Queen's Own Rifles. That's the regiment I was with during the Army. I'm going to wear my greens.
Your greens, okay.
I got my Korea veteran, well, I got my medals, but...
Mr. Bauman served with the Queen's Own Rifles of Canada as a rifleman and driver and a runner. He told me he turns 92 on November 23rd, and I asked him why he feels it's important to take part in Remembrance Day ceremonies.
I think there's always something to look back to see what our generation did before us. You can look back and tell you what happened or what.
Are there any stories that you wanted to share, any people that you wanted to remember that we can tell our listeners, that you'd like to tell our listeners about?
Yeah, Dave Davison was my co-driver all the time, and I was the last 6-7 years I haven't had wheels again. So I went with Dave Davison. He was one of the head guys from the Legion. He was a real go-getter, right? He went overseas. He went all over the place. And he died last year. He'd be one of my main people to think about, yeah.
That is Lincoln Bauman, a veteran of the Korean War. He says he was an old order Mennonite who, as he put it, rode in a horse and buggy for 17 years. He left the faith in the early 1950s. He explained at the time it was one of those things not everyone could do to be taken back into the Mennonite faith. And his daughter Carol, who was on the call, said after he returned from Korea, he worked on his brother's farm in the Markham area.
Great work on this, Joe. Thank you.
Thank you.
That is CBC KW's Joe Pavia. Now, as you heard him mention there, Lincoln Bauman will lay the wreath at the Kitchener Cenotaph observance. You can find a list of observances for the planned area on Remembrance Day, on Remembrance Day. We're going to post that on our website, cbc.ca/KW.